All right, so now we're going to talk about opposite numbers. And opposite numbers are numbers that are the same distance from zero and when placed on a number line are on the opposite sides of it. So that means if I pick this number 9, all right, and I say, okay, well, what is the opposite number 9? Well, 9 I know is 9 units away from 0 on the right-hand side of our number line. So it means our opposite number is also going to be 9 units away from 0, but must be on the other side or the opposite side of 0, which is then negative 9. So the opposite of 9 is equal to negative 9. And same thing, if I then pick a number here, and let's say, all right, well, let me start with negative 5. Well, negative 5 is 5 units away from 0 from the left-hand side. So then the number that is 5 units away from 0 on the right-hand side is positive 5. So the opposite of negative 5 is equal to 5. So what you were just doing here is we're jumping to the other side of the number line the exact number of units. All right? And one of the things that you need to be aware of is the way that we can represent the word opposite mathematically. And this is going to help us when we learn about multiplying negative numbers and adding or subtracting a negative number, is we can represent it by a minus sign. So when we see the word opposite, I can replace it with the minus or negative sign, and that's telling me that we're going to the opposite side of our number line. All right, and one of the other things, let me just pause this for a second. All right, so I'm just going to do these two other problems real quick where we're doing more than just one opposite. So the black problem I'll do in black. So it says find the opposite of 6. So first, I'm going to start at the number that we're starting at here where they're telling me 6. And I'm going to find however many opposites they're asking for. So if I'm finding the opposite here, I'm going to first find, well, what is the opposite of 6? And that is going to give me negative 6. So now I did that. But I still need to do one more opposite. So that means from here, I'm now going back and doing one more opposite. And you see I'm starting at the same number. So the opposite of 6 is, in fact, 6. And the way that we can represent that mathematically is the negative. So the opposite of 6. And that's something that we're going to have to be able to understand in the future as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do the blue one. And we're going to talk about maybe patterns that form here too. So the blue one here says find the opposite of negative 5. So I'm going to start at negative 5. And I'm going to first find the opposite of negative 5, which I know is then 5. All right, so now I did that opposite. So now I need to find the opposite of that one more time. So now I have the opposite of 5 is bringing me back to negative 5. But I still have one more opposite that I need to do. So now I'm going backwards one more time. And the opposite of negative 5 is equal to a positive 5. All right, and we represent that one mathematically with 3 different negative signs because the opposite. And then we have our negative 5 that we were starting with. And that is how we could represent that mathematically. And we're going to discuss what these negatives happen when we're dealing with these opposites and what the negatives are going to do as well.